morning.
Good morning. That's great. We finally made it because I wanted to record this for so long, and I'm happy that we are able to make it now.
Definitely. It's
Great.
a pleasure to be here.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Still waking up, but I'm good. I'm rise and shine.
Me too. So I wanted to have this conversation with you because, like, we met here in Casablanca 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah, about 4 years ago, yeah.
And we shared a lot of experience, a lot of things, and I wanted to share it with the world because I think it's beautiful what we had and what we experienced as foreign people in Morocco.
Definitely.
So I'm from Paris. You from
New York City.
Can you introduce yourself first and then?
So my name is Jahid Bell, and I'm originally from New York City, born and raised in the Bronx. I won't tell you how old I am. I'll let you guess.
Oh my God.
I am a lover of life. I'm a lover of languages. I'm a lover of art. I'm a lover of music. I'm a lover of food. I think it kind of was just a really compatible situation for me to kind of, end up here in Morocco.
I'm Farmata.
Okay.
I will not say my age either, but I'm a mom.
Right.
I'm an entrepreneur. I love food. I love music too, and it has been a great journey being here with you guys, you and all my group of friends here, and I think Morocco is the place you would like to be if you love life. I think
Definitely. Yeah, I definitely feel alive here.
Yeah. Me too. I really feel more alive here than I was in France, in Paris.
Yeah. I think, when I first came to Morocco back in, 2013, it was December, I came here as a kind of challenge. I was celebrating my birthday, New Year's Eve, with a French friend of mine, actually from Montpellier.
Okay.
And Montpellier. I gotta say it in the French way. We were having drinks, we were doing the shots thing, and then he said, let's play a game. We happened to be at a hostel in Berlin where he worked as reception, and on his wall of his reception area, there was a big map of the world. And he said, let's play a game, and I'm gonna have to blindfold you. I said, no, you're not. Eventually I agreed. We went back and forth. I agreed. And he said, all right, I'm going to spin you around after we've had a couple of drinks. And then the first place you point to on the map is where you're going to buy a one-way ticket to. And so that's how the whole story began with me in Morocco, because I pointed to Morocco.
That's crazy.
And I went through a whole journey because the first place in Morocco, or the first region that I had experienced, was the Sousse region, which is the Moroccan South. Where you have many of the indigenous people living, Amazirs. Completely different experience from somebody who maybe initially would have landed in Casablanca or Marrakesh, which is kind of a mesh of, Arab and Amazigh, along with a lot of Francophone, French influence. My experience was such a spiritual one, such a humanistic one, compared to what I have had later experienced throughout the different other regions of Morocco, that it really, I guess, sparked some curiosity in me, a deep curiosity to want to learn more about the country and about the Moroccan civilization, because it's a civilization. It's not just a nation.
An ancient civilization, yeah. It's funny because the first time I came here, it was in 2013 too.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Interesting fact.
Interesting. I came here first time, but it was not in Casablanca, it was in Fez.
Okay.
And I came with my dad.
Completely different.
Different.
Yeah.
I came with my dad and my little sister because my dad wanted to go. In Senegal, we have a religious group that is really linked to Fez.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's Muslim people, but it's a Sufi group.
Sufism.
Yeah,
Okay, I
Sufi
have heard
group,
of that.
and every year they like to come to visit Fez because their founder of the Sufi group is buried there.
Okay.
So they come here just to celebrate his life and pray. And my dad was coming here, and because my mother couldn't come with him, so my sister and I decided to come with him so he can have help, and I came with him in Fez.
Wow.
It was for a spiritual. It was the Ramadan time, so
2013.
2013. I spent 2 weeks here, and it was during the Ramadan time, so people were leaving, I would say, during night,
Yeah.
at night,
Yeah.
and during the day it was more quiet. But it was very specific, and I loved the vibe.
Interesting.
I loved the energy, and it was funny because it was a religious moment like Ramadan, but at the same time we had a lot of tourists. So I met a Canadian woman who was just like backpacking in the country, and we discussed, and I really felt good here. It was weird. I said, it's like I know this place. It's
Right. That's the same thing that I got in the Sousse region when I was traveling through Agadir, Tiznit, and I felt like, why does my spirit feel like it's been here before? And I don't know. There was just something within me that said I have to come back and I have to spend more time here because there's something that is too familiar to ignore.
exactly.
Yeah.
For me, it's the same. That's funny.
Yeah.
For me, it's the same because I had this feeling of familiarity. It was like I felt like I was at home,
Right.
even if it was the first time for me to come to Morocco. So, and after that, life brought me different occasions to come back to Morocco.
Right.
I was later involved into the process of adoption for Moroccan kids adopted by French people, and I was helping them creating the process to bring the children in France. And it happened to me like that. So I wasn't expecting this. It came randomly, so it was not something that I have prepared. And again, it pushed me to go to Morocco again, and
Yeah.
I went to Marrakesh, I went to Casablanca. So something was calling me in the country, and at some point I said, okay, I want to live here.
Interesting.
I want to live here because I feel that I have a connection with this country, and I don't know why. I want to live here, and life went on, and I had the opportunity to live here
so awesome.
as an entrepreneur with my daughter, and we are here like for now 4 years.
Wow. I mean, it's crazy because when you speak to different, whether they're residents, expats, or maybe even Moroccans born abroad coming here, they all have these really, really unique experiences that they share. And sometimes they intersect with our own, right? And then sometimes they don't actually.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that really allured me was more from, at least initially, was more from the musical perspective.
Oh, okay.
And when I initially got here, I thought that things were kind of set up because I'm a singer as well.
Yeah.
Things were kind of set up here in terms of music, art, culture. I thought that it was something that I could find absolutely any and everywhere, but actually it's quite sacred here. And usually people people are involved in, group singing and dancing for more traditional events. And it's not seen as much as a recreational thing.
Yeah.
I think that's changing maybe with younger Moroccans now. But I did find it very, very interesting when I got here because there are a lot of different types of spirits of different generations
Yes.
that embody this musical, artsy, and they're all over the country and they spread everywhere. It might not be a mainstream kind of sentiment amongst Moroccans, but they do love music. They love
music.
art. They love culture, but within context.
Yes.
So for me, when I first got here, I remember connecting with an organization called Jazawiya in Agadir, where it's like a zawiya, what the Moroccans call it, and basically it's a brotherhood where they teach both men and young women how to play instruments, whether they're Western instruments, Tamazigh instruments, or maybe Arabic or Andalusian kind of instruments. And I was introduced to a wide network of different musicians, and they basically set up a showcase where I got to perform my own music. This was back in 2015, I believe. And it was in this really cool underground grassroots basement. And another one of my friends, good friends, happened to be there as well, who also is Amazigh from the region. He's one of the people that I met throughout my backpacking journeys in Morocco. And it was just such an out-of-body experience because I remember during that occasion, after I had performed my showcase, and it was packed. I mean, like, it was hot. It was in the middle of summer, sweaty. Everybody, Moroccans yelling out in Arabic and Tamazigh and some in French. But the energy was so familial and familiar. And then there was a moment where the room cleared out. And I don't share this experience often, but when that room cleared out, there were what you call Ganawis that came in. And this is a very spiritual music. From what I remember learning, and I could be wrong, don't quote me on it, it's a music that reincarnates enslaved peoples in Morocco. The music is such a deeply syncopated music. It's almost syncopated with your heartbeat.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, the rhythms are very strong, profound, very clear. But then the way that Moroccans sing over that music, when they're singing that style of Ganawa music, is really, really profound and distinct as well. So when they brought in these older Ganawis, these kind of OGs of the music, we all kind of jammed. And it wasn't everybody. After my show, a lot of people cleared out and only really specific people stayed in the room. So I found it to be really, really weird. But honestly, I had an out-of-body experience. And I remember there were silhouettes in the background. The music was still going, but I couldn't see anybody's face. Everything went kind of into a kind of blur. But I didn't feel negative. I didn't feel sad. I wasn't angry. Actually, I felt zen. I felt bliss. I felt like, wow, this is what it's like when your nervous system is not on edge. Especially coming from the United States and, you know, us having our situation of policing, the constant racialization of everything, you know, stigmatizing of groups. And I was just like, wow, this is what it feels like to be a part of that heartbeat and that spirit and to feel a part of a community. And so then it felt like I don't even know what to call it. I was in a state of trance. For it seemed like maybe 4 hours, but it was actually shorter. It was for 2. And when I had come out of it, it was just like, wow, I felt like I was a part of their body and they were a part of mine. And honestly, that apart from some other really, really huge milestones that I experienced through traveling out throughout Morocco, left a big impression on me and resonated with me. And it made me say, you know what, I need to spend more time here. And I don't need to put a time limit on it.
That's funny because I had also a spiritual experience here, but it was in a different situation. I was looking for a place for a retreat, a meditation retreat. And usually there is a like Dhamma. I don't know if it's something that you know, but
a Dhamma?
Dhamma.
Okay.
It's a group of meditation retreats that they organize these retreats all around the globe.
Okay.
Actually, and they have one in France. So I applied in France. There was no place left. So I applied in Morocco. And it was the only place around me where the retreat was.
Irony.
That's crazy. Well, it was the only I checked in Spain. I checked everywhere in Europe. Everything was full. The only place where I had a spot left was in Marrakesh.
Interesting.
So I came to Marrakesh and we had this meditation experience. It was a collective meditation.
And that was in which year?
2019.
Okay.
2019.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was so I came in 2013 and
6 years later.
6 years later I came back to Morocco for this retreat, and it was a silent retreat. For 10 days we couldn't speak or talk to each other or like interact even with the eyes. So I was completely centered. And at some point during the meditations, we were sitting from 4 a.m. to 5. Yeah, it was crazy. Like,
wow.
Yeah, 4 a.m. We have some breaks, of course, but we were
to
sitting
5 in the afternoon?
Yeah. But it was like a meditation experience, very, very interesting.
Meditated out.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was feeling out of my body and like connected to everything. It didn't last long. It was like 1 hour experience, but it made me see the reality differently. And it was beautiful. It was funny because also I didn't expect to have this kind of experience in Morocco because it's a secular experience and Morocco is a Muslim country, and I'm Muslim too. But it's also open to in this country. You can they are open to all the religions and all the kind of spirituality. Yeah. But it was like a beautiful experience. I felt very good. And again, Morocco called me. Yeah. And so I said, okay.
You answered the call.
Yeah. I need to find a way to come back and live here.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know how this movement empowered you, because you already travel around the world. So
Yeah.
you came from the US.
Yeah. I lived, I left the US at least living in 2000, since, let me see, in 2005.
2005.
And then I moved to Amsterdam for family reunification.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Berlin. Out of curiosity, I'm a very curious
Yeah.
person, and I wanted to have my own independent experience. I've always been really independent. And then after that, I moved to Barcelona for a year and a half. And I guess because of my first trip being when I was living in Berlin to Morocco, I think that Barcelona wasn't really interesting for me anymore. Why? Because I kind of had poked the bear in terms of it not being a Western country, it not being familiar, the infrastructure not being familiar, the language not being familiar, the culture not being familiar or seemingly familiar. And I think that's what my spirit longed for, objectivity. I think objectivity was really what my spirit was looking for. I think it's what every human spirit actually is looking for deep down inside. But we won't realize it until we are exposed to the other.
Can I ask you, what do you mean when you say objectivity?
When I say objectivity, I'm speaking about, well, things that we don't consider normal, but that exist. Things that exist that we don't consider normal still exist. They don't exist because we don't consider them normal. And I think in Western countries, we grow up with this idea of what's normal deserves to be merited as something that is in existence or existing. I don't think that's true. I think it's important for us to not forget that what we don't consider normal also has a place on Earth. And I think that's what's been the driver for me, at least in terms of wanting to have new experiences, wanting to, live in these different places and, just immerse myself in whatever it is that's around me.
I think that I'm looking for the same thing, but it presented differently, because I came here like in 4 years ago, and I was 38, so I have traveled before having my child when I was a student, but like my adulthood, my 30s, I was in France, I was in Paris. So, and at some point I wanted to continue to like explore the world, even if I was a mom. So in 2022, we came here, and I wanted also my daughter to experience something else outside of the Western world.
Right.
I always wanted that for her because I'm from Senegalese descent, so I have a double culture, but
Yeah.
I wanted my daughter also to see what it is to have a double culture and
Right.
also experience what is outside of her culture.
Yeah.
So yes, it's interesting that you look for objectivity
Yeah.
as a way to open your mind, I think.
Definitely. I think it's not just to open my mind, but also I think it's important for the empathy concept. Why? Because if we only acknowledge the things that we agree with all of the time, or the people that we agree with, or the places that seem agreeable to us, then what we do is we deny dignity. We deny dignity to everything which is not what we consider normal or comfortable or convenient. And I don't think that's a sustainable way to live on Earth with as many humans as we're living.
Of course.
The other point that I wanted to touch upon was the fact that when we refer to the West, what we're saying are industrialized countries. Morocco is partially industrialized, and actually I like it like that. Why? Because we need option. We need option between being able to eat healthier, or if you want to, cheat on your diet or cheat, have a little burger here or what. Okay, you can do that too. But to live in a country or to come from a country where we have food deserts because everything is processed around, or you find nothing but buffets. I don't find that to be very objective. And I don't find that to be very sustainable from a humanistic point of view. So what I really love about Morocco is that it is not like an industrialized country. So when we say Western, what we mean is industrialized, fully industrialized. Morocco is a link between the West and the East. And I like it that way.
I didn't have all this awareness about industrialized countries and the difference between an industrialized country and a third. I don't like the third world country concept.
I wouldn't use that term in my opinion.
Like a country that lives differently, I would say. But when I came here, I got the awareness. So yeah, okay, I was living in a place where all the food was processed, where the fruits and vegetables were coming from very far distances, because I was living in Paris.
Which
and,
means they're not seasonal,
yeah,
which means it's not natural.
not natural, not seasonal. I didn't have all this awareness. But when I came here and I had access to all this, like this natural food that is growing around
Yeah.
here, like, and not very expensive, not cheap.
You can buy food directly from the farmers.
Yeah, directly
Like,
from the farmers.
farmers in America would probably be incriminated for it.
Yeah, and here you have this access to all this natural food, and you have also access to processed food, but
Right.
You have choice.
You have choice.
You have choice.
And I like that point that you touched upon, choice. We in Western countries, I think industrialized nations, have associated having a lot of options with freedom. But I don't think it's so much about having a lot of options. What is the quality of those options? It's just about choosing between the lesser of two evils. Well, then actually, you need to throw it all out in the garbage. And I think that's what we're really struggling with right now. We're grappling with, do we throw it out all, like the entire thing, or do we keep a little piece here and a little piece there and hope that and pray that it's going to get better somehow, some way? Yeah, but that's more political. I stay away from that type of stuff.
It's not. I think it's not political. It's about our lives and what we put in our bodies and what we eat and how we want to live. And so for me, it's important for each of us to have a word to say about what is going on,
Right.
what are we putting in our bodies. But I wanted to talk about the empowerment that this move allows you to
Experience.
to experience. For me, it's important because I came here by choice. Nobody pushed me here. I came here by choice, and it was really empowering for me as a single mom to come with my daughter, experience life here, and choose how I want to live here. In the West, like for me, you put in a box,
Right.
and you have to stay there until the end of your life.
Right.
And so with this move, I decided to live differently and experience different things. So how did this move empowered you?
It's a very interesting question, and I honestly have to be honest.
Yeah.
I prepared something for it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
you
really, the question resonated with me, so I'm gonna read what I wrote about this. It's taught me to be resilient, to affirm who I am and who I am not, and not to let others dictate my worth out of fear of complexity.
Yeah.
It's taught me that our concept of origin, belonging, identity can intersect, but usually they don't. And that's okay. It's taught me that entrepreneurship is what has brought humanity the most sustainably long-term results, and that we should be encouraging ourselves and our young people to embrace their losses as much as their wins. Lastly, I think that investing in oneself, regardless of support from others, whether family, friend, whatever, is crucial and is extremely necessary for growth in life. And I really stand behind that. I really had to think about that question. You know, it brought up so much feeling because, you know, being out of the U.S. for as long as I have, it really does something to you because now your reference points are not within reach.
Yeah.
You will become your reference. And if you don't have one, well, you get a pillar here or a brick there, and then you just start rebuilding something, some remnant of whatever is left. And yeah, I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, it taught me resilience. It taught me self-reliance. It taught me that I can trust my guidance, my inner guidance. And it was a restful experience. I really feel that I was not at war, but yes, almost. When you live in the West, it's like you don't know that, but it's like you keep fighting and struggling all your life.
Your humanity is weaponized against you.
Yeah, and at some point, this movement helped me to
Ground yourself.
ground myself, be at peace, listen to what is going around, and make a difference, a differentiation. So it was really a spiritual experience, like a growing experience, but at an adult age. That's why
Yeah.
it is interesting, because I was already a mom when I came here,
Interesting, yeah.
and I kept growing through this experience. I don't regret
Yeah,
this.
me neither.
Yeah,
It's been awesome.
it's been awesome. And what are the adaptative muscles that you built here? Because you come from a different country.
Yeah.
And also, what is very interesting in your case is that it's not an Anglophone country. Morocco
Yeah.
is French and Arabic. So at
Oh,
least,
wow.
at least when I came here, Casablanca is a very francophone city. So
Yeah.
I had my
Yeah.
repair, my everything. But for you, it was how it was.
It was difficult to find street signs that I could even understand, because either it was in Arabic or they were in Arabic or they were in French, or there were no street signs. And it was just like I had to use points of interest as references. So that would be maybe a gas station like Shell or Afrikia. I would have to use certain the names of certain cafes that were really popular, older cafes that had been in the neighborhoods for specific amounts of time. Or if they were large intersections that had specific names, that was my reference. For me, being a New Yorker, a real New Yorker,
Yeah.
we use the facades of buildings. We've always used the facades of buildings, the colors, the textures, the patterns, to tell us where we are in the city. So we would know if we were in the south, if we were in the north, or if we were going in the right direction or not. So then for me, being here in Casablanca, being that there are some tall buildings and, some have really specific paint or architecture facades, that helped me navigate around the city and really memorize the infrastructure. So I'm definitely not from the Gen Z generation. My thing is, how do I map proof this situation in my head? And it was, all right, I'm gonna hop in this city taxi. I'm gonna go somewhere where I haven't been. Even if it's uncomfortable, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna walk around, and then I'm gonna find a taxi and then find my way back. And that's how I learned the infrastructure throughout many of the cities here in Morocco.
Yeah.
And for me, that works way better, because if there's a grid problem and the electricity goes out or there's no Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? You're totally dependent on
Yeah.
what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And maybe that might not be much. So, I think finding mechanisms such as that really, really helped me to navigate and to manage. I think another one was paying attention not just to the words that people were using and language specifically, lexicon, rather the words under, the emotion under what is being said or what is being communicated. Here people, like throughout all of the Mediterranean, they use their hands a lot.
Yeah.
The hands tell you if somebody's irritated, if someone is happy, if someone is hungry, if someone, they're just maybe not having the best day, versus what is actually being transmitted, verbally. I think we can do this in French or in English as well. Just because I say, oh, I love what you're wearing, doesn't mean that I really love what you're wearing.
The way you say it, of course. The way you say it, no, it's not.
Right.
It doesn't mean.
And so now when you add in the hand gestures and the facial expressions, we can deduct different things from that. I think in the West, we become reliant on words and language. And I think with Gen Z, what they're showing us is that actually words can mean a lot of different things. Different conversation on that end. But I think, we shouldn't focus so much on what is being said rather than how it's being said.
I think for me it was so. As I said, Casablanca is francophone, so there is a lot of things that you can see that are coming from France.
Yeah.
Even the shops, the restaurants. So it was not very different in terms of communications, but like you said, people here have a double language. So in Morocco, generally,
it's multilinguistic.
It's multilinguistic.
It's not monolinguistic like industrialized countries.
Yeah, and people like Moroccan people, they speak every language. Like they speak English,
can,
French, Spanish,
Chinese,
Russian.
Russian.
They speak every language. So it's a different way to express themselves when you compare to France, for example, where there is no double meaning. When you speak or when you communicate with a French person, what you see is what you have. Like it's is straight to the point.
Yeah.
But when you communicate with Moroccan people, you can feel that you can see they thought. I don't know if it's correct, but
You can see their thoughts, yeah.
you can see that there is something.
Right, your spirit can say one thing, but your behavior can say something else.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean you're being fake or
No.
you're lying. It just means that exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Your spirit can be one or mean one thing, and your behavior can be saying something else.
Yeah, I think it's something that all human beings have.
We do it. We do
But
it.
in the West or in France, for my experience, you don't see it. Yeah.
It doesn't happen in
It
the same
doesn't
way.
happen in the same way.
Yeah.
People can hide their feelings very deeply.
Yeah.
Whether here, like, I don't know why, but they are more open and you can more transparent.
Transparent,
More
yeah.
transparent, and you can see the difference.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And I think that's very, from what I've seen, in terms of a lot of Moroccan, like foreign residents and then Moroccans, there's always a lot that gets lost in translation. Why? Because it's a gray area or it's the fear zone.
Yeah.
It's like the dark room, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know if it's going to go left, right? And so then there's, I think for a lot of people from industrialized countries, there's kind of like retreat thing that happens. And it's more of a defense mechanism. It's like, all right, it's not clear, so I don't want to engage. I want to make sure it's clear, you know? And I think that's just a cultural thing. We can't really change how we perceive certain things. And then on the other side, things can be misunderstood as well. I remember when I was eating tagine in the South, and I went to eat the tagine with my left hand instead of my right hand, and I didn't understand what the problem was. And then someone walked up to me and they were like, "Would you like a fork?" I was like, "Okay, I get it now. I did something wrong."
They didn't say no. You should.
No, they did. They told me after in private.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's strange."
That's there is a specific rules, like little rules that you don't know
You will never know,
and you maybe don't understand, but you have to respect this.
and you have to go through the
And you have
process.
to go through the process.
And I think that's the thing. We've in the industrialized countries, we've gotten used to focusing on the result instead of focusing on the process.
Yes.
And so now we're being faced with different outcomes than a lot of partially or non-industrialized nations.
From a language perspective,
Yeah.
you had to adapt to the nuances.
Oh yeah, and I'll just add one more thing to that. You know, if you're an English speaker and you're trying to learn, I call it like an Arabic Creole. It's not exactly classic Arabic at all, but it's also mixed with influences from Spanish. Darija is the name of Moroccan Arabic, and it's mixed with Tamazight influences, with French, obviously. It is quite difficult to learn a language that is not a written language, that doesn't have written rules or very mapped out grammar. So what you have to do is you have to learn bits and pieces as you go and try to make it work, depending on your context. If you're married, if you already have kids, if you come here and you already have a basis in classic Arabic, as an English speaker, that will actually help you, because what they do is they cut off ends and beginnings of certain words in Arabic, or they change sounds like a TH to a D sound, for example. And then you can start to figure things out. However, depends on your situation coming to Morocco. If you have a lot of time, if you have a lot of friends and your social network really supports it, it's quite different. If you're a French speaker already, you can come here and you can ask a Moroccan directly, how do I say this in your dialect?
Yeah.
Whereas an English speaker can't do the
can't,
same thing.
yeah.
So it might take us a little bit longer, again, depending on our situation and our context. But look, everybody has their own path and they have their own trajectory. So, you do you. And I think as long as you're being respectful and you show
Exactly.
interest and you show that you're trying counts. It's not just about the result, it's about the process.
I also see that Moroccan people are very open when you don't know, when you say that, I don't know, can you please teach me?
Yeah.
They're not they are not looking down at
Never.
you, never. They're always explaining, you have to say
Very
this.
different in the West, right?
Very different.
The West? Oh, you don't know? What, are
Yeah.
you stupid or something?
Yeah. Are you illiterate?
Right.
Like something like that. So
Are you underdeveloped?
Yeah. So you don't have this like bad energy when you ask for an explanation or a question about the Moroccan culture or
Right.
the Moroccan language, it's easy, and I love that. So I don't like this question, but we
Okay.
have to ask. As a black person, for me, the color doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But as a black person, what, how this experience impacted you?
I think as a black male, because I think it's going to be different if you're a female and a black female at that. It's been very interesting. Why? Because I think anyone who is black or brown understands that racism is not confined to any specific part of the world or region. You can and you will experience racism no matter where you go. Or you'll experience discrimination or prejudice because they're not always the same thing. I think it's really important to be able to distinguish when it's a lack of education or lack of exposure versus someone who knows damn good and well what they're doing when they're doing it. I have experienced racism also here in Morocco, but that has not shaped my experience. The leading story in terms of my narrative, I never let it be. And I don't think anybody else should let any of these, no matter where you are in the world, let them. I've experienced it also in Berlin, also in Barcelona, also in the Netherlands. But that is not why I'm here on Earth. I'm not here on Earth to make racism the centerpiece of my world and my life. I'm here to live my life. And that, unfortunately, just happens to come with it. And I think when we take that approach, we live healthier, more robust lives and have more richer experiences. Or richer experiences, to be honest. When confronted with racism here in Morocco, it doesn't happen in the same way. Why? Because history is different. And I think it's very important before we go to other countries that we learn about their history and we learn about how they, what is their proximity to darkness, blackness, or difference in general. Because I've also been with white people who have experienced racism here, whether on the positive and on the negative end. And this is not just something specific to us. We do have and experience the world in a very specific way. But we have to remember that we don't want to continue to victimize ourselves and let that dictate our narrative and dictate our lives. We want to live life and that be maybe a less interesting or less beneficial part of our experience. And so, yeah, that's what I would say about that.
That's interesting. I think we share the same thought about racism. That is a construct, and even the blackness is a concept that has been created in the West.
It's a Western concept.
It's a Western concept because
Right.
when you come to Africa, people don't define themselves as black or white.
They
define
don't.
themselves as
There's
I'm
black people everywhere.
Yeah.
Why would they call themselves black?
They don't
Right.
see that. So it's a Western concept, and I learned that very early. So that's why it's not like you shaping my narrative, and I
Right.
go where I want to go. I do what I want to do,
Right.
regardless of what people think about me.
And some people are going to like you in life, and some people are not going to like you.
Whether your colors, skin color.
There is no rule.
No.
There is no law that can force someone to like me. It can, the law or the rule may modify behavior, but it doesn't remove resentment.
No.
Maybe we change the mind, but we don't change the heart. So then, actually, is that the type of society we want to live in? Or would we rather live in a society where, okay, I had that bad experience, and now I'm going to move on because there are other experiences to be had.
Yes,
And that's how I see it.
definitely. For me, it's it's almost the same. I don't look at what people think about me as a way to direct my life.
Who cares?
I don't care. But it's interesting because before I came here, when I said to my French friends that I
Yeah.
was coming to Morocco, oh, you're going to a racist country. Why are you going to Morocco?
I'll be like, excuse me?
Like white people, that's funny. White people, oh, are you not afraid to go to Morocco? They're racist. I said, what are you talking about? Do you know what is going on in your country? That's no self-awareness about what is going on in France. For French people, it's like
I think
no.
we go through the same thing in the United States with ours as well.
I think it's worse. Like in the United
pretty
States,
bad.
you have an experience. You know your history completely. In France, there is all the colonization, everything related to slavery is completely
Yeah. Pushed to the
pushed
background.
pushed to the background, and we don't know that. So we don't have self-awareness about what is going on in the country. And I said to these people, I don't care. My experience was always positive here. As a black woman, I think as a woman is different because
Yeah, I would imagine so.
yeah, it's different. The way you're treated, the way you're like regarded, it's completely different from a man experience, I guess.
Definitely.
So for me, it always was positive, and like racism is something that I experienced through my daughter because she was in a Moroccan school and she experienced remarks regarding her skin color from kids that have almost the same the same skin color as hers. So for me, it was more an ignorant problem, a problem of ignorance than a problem of really a structure of racism in the society.
Right,
For me,
right,
it's different.
right. I totally agree.
Yeah, for me, it's like ignorance and colorism because whiteness is regarded as a high
Of course.
value.
And that comes from colonialism. And
Exactly.
also the reinforcement through media,
Yeah.
social media, of what the
Exactly.
concept or the standard of beauty is, right?
Standard of beauty.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why for me it's different.
Yeah.
And it's more sustainable experience because like I'm evolving in an environment where I can be myself, and
Right.
what I'm doing is
You're not you don't feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells as a black person in Morocco.
No.
You know, I mean, if you come with a plan and you have stuff to do, nobody's gonna really stop
Nobody
you.
stops
As long as you're being respectful and you're not breaking laws or rules or
Yeah.
anything. Like nobody's gonna bother you. You know.
and it's like I would say also it's the personal individual power that is also determining your experience in Morocco. The value that you put in yourself,
Self-esteem.
the self-esteem is really something for me, from what I have experienced here. It's what makes the difference between like an experience where you're undervalued and mistreated and the experience where you're like in a very good situation. So yeah, it's interesting.
Cool. I'm glad that we were able to have this
We have
this talk.